Yeah, this is what rock bottom looks like. So, welcome back to the channel, people. It is war number 3 of the season. We are up against Made in Brazil, an alliance we've faced a few times before. And first up, I have got a yellow jacket on path 6. He's got those 2 combat deja vu or something like that, and prowess puncture. Essentially, if you end a combo and then start the next combo with the same attack that you ended with, they gain a prowess buff for about 10 seconds, I think it lasts, increasing special damage by about 50%, and then also every time they gain a prowess they get some block penetration. So essentially you need to have your dexes down. So yeah, we kind of planned how to get the combos to work. As you can see at the start here, I've already messed that up a little bit, but it's not too important as long as I make sure I absolutely have the special dexes down. That's the main thing to focus on, really. And then yeah, I think my management of high ground could have been a bit better as well when I look back at this fight. Like you saw there, I could have just held going over the 20 hit mark to remove a stack. But it's alright, we're moving now, we're moving a bit slowly, so you're going to see those high ground charges start to stack up. But again, you don't want to rush, just focus on really having the special dexes down, and this isn't too hard a fight. So the thought behind using Ibom here was just because he fit into my team. I needed him for some later fights, one mini boss in particular. And yes, I thought was also from officers that he'll bypass resistances that I think Yellow Jacket has naturally, and yeah, obviously can do some decent damage. Ibom's actually a new rank 3 for me. I've got a video coming out when I can get around to it that will talk about him and another new rank 3. But yeah, this was kind of his first run out in war attack for me. Yeah, as you can see, I lost a huge chunk of health from just getting too close to Yellow Jacket while he was in his meltdown phase. That was probably, yeah, a bit risky in terms of management of my health, but of course I didn't want high ground to keep stacking up as well. And I was confident I could out damage him despite the fact that it is getting a bit nervously close there, as you can see. But we get it finished, we get the solo, not the cleanest, definitely one that could be managed a bit better. But it wasn't probably the most optimal counter, I would say. So yeah, he's done his job. Heal him up and go again for the next fight, right? Yeah, it doesn't get any better from there, really. This fight right now is about to go dreadfully wrong. It's Tigra with aggression prowess and power focus too. I practiced her specials. To be honest, I'm so busy that I didn't probably practice it nearly as enough as I would have wanted to get completely comfortable with them, but usually I can manage them fine. It's just in a matchup like this, she is power focus too. She's gaining power rapidly, and yeah, it's very easy to lose control quickly. So you see here, get the first special dex completely fine. We actually start this fight all right. As you can see now, I eat 1, but again, there's no need to panic. Just you get control of the fight again, bait out those special ones. But now you can see I am getting backed up because I'm failing my parries. And then she gets another special 1 off here. Okay, we get the dex. We've got rid of the paralysis. We're starting to get control again. Throw my special 2, which knocks her over 2 bars. And here we think we've got the dex. And then we don't. So at this point I'm like, right, we've taken her down to like 40% health. Just revive, heal up and go back in and you can finish it. Just do more of the same. Wasn't the cleanest, but you should get her down in 1 more take. Now here's a note for just a general lesson to be learned. Usually the best practice after any death is to clear your mind. I did take a moment to just briefly pause while I was healing up and just think over it again, but I think the best thing would have probably been to go check in with my battle group, because this fight's not going to go very well. I'll just say it now. I die again. You've already seen the death that's about to happen in the intro to this video. And then it was after that, obviously, when I was clearly, lost my head a bit with how bad this particular one is going to go. went over and essentially got the advice of, you know, Warlocks there is an option too, and that's something I just completely missed on the plan, and that's my bad. You know, I just completely didn't register that the plan said you can use Ibom or Warlock, and I think Warlock would have been much more comfortable because of willpower and being able to manage her power a bit better and keep to those special ones that I'm comfortable with. I've got to get more comfortable with her specials at some point for sure, but yeah, just right now the time to go practice those to, you know, an efficient and consistent level. Of course, practice before any war fight, but yeah, that was just one I've got to hold my hands up to and say I'm just not entirely comfortable with and should have figured out a bit better before it. Yeah, so pretty embarrassing deaths, plural, unfortunately. Sucks. And I was, at this point, I was ready to not just, you know, not put this in the war video or even not make the war video, but I was seriously ready to just hang it all up. You know, I was like, you know what, we were planning to take a break before this season. I ended up deciding to give it a go, and at this point I was like, maybe it's just time to, you know, cut your losses at this point. Make the call and, you know, give them time to start looking for a replacement so you can, you know, help close out the week of AQ, maybe another war or so, and just, yeah, life's pretty hectic, right? So turn my focus there. But I didn't quite go to that length because I just, you know, that was in the moment feeling pretty rough, but I am enjoying it. And of course, like I say, this war was very new to me. You know, there's a lot of new matchups, use of new champs, you know, like Ibom and Namor, two people I don't generally use a lot, so there's a lot of learning going on in this war. And yeah, so it's best to keep that in mind for myself and not, you know, put myself down too much about the deaths, but obviously take the lessons learned and just move forward really. So moving forward, we have my next fight of the war, my third fight, and this is taking place the afternoon after rather, so this is the next day, this is today's fight. So I've had some sleep, I've gotten up, gotten on with work, I'm on my lunch break now, so I've had the time to kind of clear my mind of that mess of a tigra fight. But that doesn't change the nerves naturally, so I've gone into this, I've chucked 6-hour boosts on just because we had a bit of, you know, schedules not lining up, and yeah, I knew that basically I wasn't going to be able to get all my fights done on my my lunch break. And so yeah, I knew that let me just clear this one because the Sasquatch right after this, we had someone else taking with a better counter. And then yeah, it was going to be back to me taking a few fights. So get this one down, and yeah, this is Wolverine Weapon X, as you can see on Ebb and Flow Intercept, and also Sadist, so more debuffs on him, more attack he gains, and then of course his protection, which can only be removed by intercepting him, which then also gives you a passive fury. So the good thing for facing Weapon X here is he's naturally really aggressive, so he can, you know, finding intercepts is not really something you have to force, it comes quite naturally in the fight. But also he can hit pretty flipping hard, like, and he's a pretty scary guy to fight sometimes, so it can easily go wrong. But we come out of this one with 94%. It was a pretty smooth fight. Of course, I think there was like one combo where I just didn't quite get my intercept, and yeah, that used up my invulnerability, but otherwise it was all good. So now I log in again later after work, knowing, okay, I've been cleared to take my remaining 2 fights. And I stupidly checked the score, and we've got 4 fights left, the other alliance are done, and we're only up by 1 death, knowing that they've beaten us on fight time already as well. I was like, oh no, I've just gone and put all this pressure on myself, and well, let's see how I cope. So we've got a killmonger first in a very tricky spot. He's got mighty charge, he's got ebb and flow intercept as well. And I think the third node was the saddest node. So yeah, you've got to get your intercepts on this guy at some point, but of course you don't want to force it. So the plan here is to get my invulnerability on, build Namor up, you know, just follow the fight. If I get you know, intercepts easily, you know, naturally in the fight, they come nicely opened, then take them, but don't try and force them. So as you see there, one just real smooth opportunity. Let's get it in, you know, get some good damage in. Why not? But the main focus is trying to build up the charges on Namor, get him towards the phase where I can then throw a special 3 and go into his, is it rage? Yeah, can't remember exactly what it's called. I know they're outrage charges, so I'm going to assume that it's rage when you hit 30, you know, Imperious Rex, there we go. The name came to me. So yeah, build towards that, and if I don't have the passive fury, then try to land and intercept then and get it, and also, you know, manage his power before throwing the special 3. So we've been doing well so far, pretty clean. As you can see, I'm now approaching Imperious Rex. So now I'm trying to bait that opportunity. I'm going for a light intercept. There, as you saw with the light hitting the air, it's obviously safer to do a light intercept. So if he doesn't come into it, then you're less likely to be punished. But then I get the opening there anyway, just as, you know, normal stand-up intercept. The opening came, get the special 3 off. His power was at a decent level as well, as you can see here as well, still good. Got 2 Furies now, one from Imperious Rex, one from the Ebb and Flow intercept. And then here we just go for the finish. So 2 very clean fights, Weapon X and Killmonger, and man, when I tell you confidence and momentum are really needed, boy are they needed, because this America Chavez fight, polka dot power, stun vulnerability, stunning reflection. So stun vulnerability, as you will know, if you stun them you do more damage. However, stunning reflection means that she has a stun window, which if you, sorry, a stun shield, where if you try to stun her, she'll reflect it on you. And the only way to take that shield down is through poisons and incinerates. If you place one on the opponent, then it takes it down for, I think, 10 seconds or 12 seconds, something like that. So that's what makes Ibom good here as well. We get the read pre-fights on, thank goodness for those, because those will just help with making it less likely that she shoots to a special 2. As you can see, I'm just such a nervous wreck at this point. I'm like, wait, am I screen recording? Are the pre-fights on? Like, is everything okay? Boy, I have not been so nervous, because now it's 3 fights and we know we can't die. And I've had, in my opinion, an awful war, even if everything else, you know, well, the Weapon X and Killmongers were really clean, but the Yellow Jacket was a bit messy, and Tigra was a train wreck. So going into this, the nerves are high. I've done so many practice duels at this point, and, you know, they got better towards the end before I finally went for it. But there were some in there that were just really worrying, like, you know, with the way she was performing. But I got one good tip from DLL, which was, you know, when I've got these opportunities to stun her, to actually throw a heavy, because it will, you know, kind of bait her into being more aggressive. So as you see there, she throws her special 1 freely. What I found in some duels was that when I wasn't, she was doing that, you know, when I wasn't knocking her down as frequently, she was throwing her heavies. There is literally one clip I have, which I'll actually add in after this fight, where she just throws 3 random heavies into the air, 3 in a row in one of my practice duels. But anyway, as you can see here, the main thing is just baiting those openings to get your stun. So if you see the shield is up like this, you're either intercepting or hitting a block. That time I accidentally parried, but for the rest of the fight I was doing it really well. And now we get the special 2 off as well. That means I can just go in to the finish now. Poison's sticking quite well. And yeah, she's melting. So bait the special 1 there, throw my own special 1. The shield is down again, I can stun freely, but yeah, she hits my block and she dies anyway from the poisons. Super clean fight, and yeah, I was well happy about that one. Yeah, so this is the duel I was talking about, or rather practice mode fight. Yeah, what the hell is that? 3 heavies in a row. Really bizarre AI, but anyway, that's the final result. For our battle group, the rest of them, they did awesome. They absolutely smashed it, and it could have been a deathless war for our battle group if it wasn't for my train wreck. So that's really disappointing there. We could have had our first donut of the season, but hopefully it's not too far around the corner. And as you can see there, 8-7 in the end it finished, as we cleaned up those last 4 fights. In fact, I was told by Meta in our alliance that both alliances went deathless in the last 9 fights each, so that's how long it went on. As you can see, there was, you know, the BG3 chat, everyone from all the battle groups jumping in on the war screen, just watching our last few fights. No pressure, eh? But no, as you can see, it was a tense war. Absolutely, like these kind of wins feel the best. Like when they're so tight, this is where the excitement is. So as you can imagine, it was like crazy in our alliance chat. Everyone enjoying it, and yeah, I mean the win feels good. That's the most important thing to take away from this: the win, and the lessons from my fights, the good ones and the bad ones. And yeah, hopefully that raw footage, whether it was good or bad, will help someone in some way, shape or form. But anyway, take care and I will see you in the next video.